Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and once again it is time for my client Lewis's vlog, and we started the week off with bench press. Now, as a coach, I don't like that I just saw his leg lift up on a max. I didn't catch that when I saw the clip. I need to let him know after this that, that technically is considered a failed lift. But, for our PR purposes, we'll still count it because he's strong enough to do it. But again, can't lift that foot up off the ground like that. We're not dug in tight enough if that happens. So it's just something a lot of lifters have to work on. Meaning when we bench press, it really should be a full body exercise in the sense of your entire body should contract isometrically, and you shouldn't be able to move like that. And if you can, you're not digging into the ground and into the bench tight enough, and therefore you're losing some of your possible force production. But for those who don't know the backstory, go watch the other ones. I don't really want to do his backstory again every time, other than we've had to do a lot of rebuilding after being sick. He got sick and he got injured. So we've rebuilt, been slowly rebuilding, and it's been going pretty good. It's going pretty good. And we run him on a very, very simple conjugate template, and he's about to get a rack. He's trying to find one that will fit, that he can get delivered in the country he lives in, that will fit where he's training. Because we really do need a proper rack instead of this stand. Because we run him on a very basic conjugate program, so it's like many of my lifters, it's 4-day upper, lower, max effort, dynamic effort. Okay, so very, very standard template. We don't really have bands, chains, specialty bars, specialty machines, so we just work with the barbells and dumbbells that he has, and some body weight exercises. But he's also happy this week. He went and took measurements again to check in, and he's like, my arms are up almost an inch, which is a good thing, because it's something that as a young man he worries a lot about, that my arms aren't big enough and things like that. So when we see something that he's got an improved measurement, it's a good thing. Now, before people chime in and say, but he's not that big, it's like, well, of course not. He's still a novice. He's drug-free, and he doesn't have a lot of training experience. So it takes time. It takes time to get big. Realistically, years and years and years. It really does. All right, max effort lower this week. We did sumo deadlift, and I believe he got a 5 kilogram PR. I don't have the notes in front of me because I just like to flow with some of these vlogs. But he got a PR. So we're happy. Then, we do for supplemental work, we do what we can with what we have. We do a lot of split squats here. He has dumbbells. We can do these with barbells, but we get the grip training by doing split squats. Right, so he does some split squats. Right now I have him doing glute bridges, good mornings, and then hanging leg raises. And for him, that's enough. Right, that's enough. To slowly get better on this. I don't know if he's got a pad there. And I was going to say, you normally for glute bridges, I do advise most of you to get a pad eventually. It would be a very, very wise idea. Otherwise, they tend to beat you up. And I know that glute bridges are these days considered a controversial lift. People will argue whether they're better than hip thrusts. People will argue that there's good data showing squats may even be better than hip thrusts, depending upon what you're doing. But the thing to remember with all of that, when you're picking exercises in a program for a lifter, they need to be based upon the totality of the training, not, hey, what does this one exercise bring by itself to the table? Could we make a good case that a back squat has more hypertrophic potential than a glute bridge? Of course, he does speed squats and max squats also. Sure, we could. Also utilizes a lot more recovery resources. It's a lot more fatiguing. I could make a good case for a glute bridge or a hip thrust having a better stimulus to fatigue ratio. Also, we're using it as a secondary exercise. Okay? It's not like we're doing it first in our run-up to, so do we need the biggest, baddest, toughest exercise when we're 3 exercises deep into a workout? No. We need to be looking at, what can I do with the tools that I have available that's going to work for my total stimulus and fatigue? Can I execute it safely? What tools do I have available? What's it going to cost me on the fatigue and the recovery end versus what it brings to the table? And when we start looking at third, fourth exercises in a workout, that ladder becomes a real big deal. It's going to cost me in recovery. We don't worry about that so much with the primary lift. You get further into the workout, it matters a lot. All right, dynamic effort upper, very straightforward for him. Speed bench, rows, jam presses, laterals, chins. All right, very straightforward. And I let him always keep the lateral raises in. He's a younger guy, he wants a certain look. Give him his shoulders. Plus, for some lifters, we could argue they're not going to get the best shoulder development off pressing and pulling. A lot of lifters can. A lot of lifters can build massive delts that way. But they're usually moving real big weights on those. All right, dynamic effort lower. Speed boxes, speed box squats. Speed deadlifts. We're doing conventional in this phase. We rotate sumo and conventional back and forth. And then, of course, we finish up with our normal staples. Glute bridges, some good mornings. I don't think I have good mornings in his dynamic days now. Mainly because we're not bulking hard at the moment. I don't want him to overdo it in terms of volume. All right. To keep it all recoverable. Plus we do 2 main exercises on dynamic lower day. And then, of course, we finish up with his split squats and his leg raises. All right, guys, well, that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys next time.